If your sales leader doesn't know how to sell, work creatively within a process, recruit top talent, and develop them further, you don't have a sales leader. At best, you have an expensive babysitter. When I sit down with founders and they tell me about their sales leader's current abilities, my first question is, how do we know that to be true? You're telling me they know how to sell, you're telling me that they're creative and strategic, and then you're telling me that they're a good culture fit and they can grow the team. And yet in the same breath, you're going to tell me about how you're not maximizing your current revenue potential. So the obvious question becomes, are you sure? Are you sure the sales leader can sell? Are you sure they're strategic and they know how to lead? How do we know that to be true? Well, there is a systematic way to know for a fact whether or not you have the right sales leader. We need to break down 3 key components: their sales abilities, their ability to use creative measures and drive results, and their ability to attract and retain top talent. First, let's help you figure out if the sales leader can even sell. Now, I've heard enough times that a sales leader does not need to be the best salesperson on the team. And while I won't say that this is an outright lie, it really should be seen as the exception to the rule. The fact is, if every single salesperson on the team does not respect the sales leader's ability to walk into a deal and close it, they will never truly be inspired to reach their full potential, nor will they feel confident in their own abilities and training. So you need to be certain that this person can garner the respect of the team by showcasing their ability to sell. And here's how you evaluate that. First, what is their demeanor when they hop on a sales call? Are they confident or are they nervous? Do they stutter or are they fluid and smooth? And what does their discovery process look like? Are they actually helping the prospect discover new issues and new pains about themselves? Or are they just asking the standard, trite, on-the-nose questions? Then, we need to look at whether or not they can pitch. Do they inspire confidence in the prospect and get the prospect to want to move forward to the next steps? Or are they just reading a list of features and benefits? Next, we have to look at their ability to close a deal. I don't hire professional visitors, and neither should you. A salesperson's job starts when the prospect says no. Can they turn that no into a yes and get that client to commit to moving forward? And finally, their job is not only to bring revenue in the door, but also ensure that it stays there. As every business owner knows, if you have clients, you have difficult client situations. When you send this person in to speak to a client that is upset, does that situation get handled properly? Or do you have to jump in and fix it for them, just to keep the business? Understanding the nuance of all of these skill sets will tell you whether or not your sales leader can not only sell, but sell well. Now, the second trait that distinguishes a poor sales leader from a good sales leader to a great sales leader is their ability to have the team follow a predictable process, but have enough domain experience to know when to call an audible. You see, Annie Duke coined the term resulting in her book, Thinking in Bets. Now, this is a concept where an individual determines the quality of a decision solely based on the outcome of that decision. That doesn't make for good long-term decision making. Now, this concept is most famously explained through the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl loss to the New England Patriots. When on the last play of the game, Pete Carroll, Seattle's head coach, opted to throw the ball rather than to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, who ultimately had the highest probability of completing the play. This decision, as well as Pete Carroll, were highly criticized because the ball was ultimately intercepted, costing the Seahawks the game. Everyone criticized this decision because the best option was to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, not throw the ball. And now because the play failed, everyone feels justified in saying it was a bad decision. However, if the play was successful, everyone would have regarded Pete Carroll as a genius because he outsmarted and outmaneuvered the defense, because of course Marshawn Lynch is the obvious choice. And the best strategy is to be not obvious. So what would have been the right play to call? The reality is nobody knows. However, everyone pretends they know because of resulting. What you want to make sure is that your sales leader is not a resultist, and they make decisions based off domain experience, statistically significant insights, and the pulse of the deal. You can't have them making decisions blindly off of data and historical results. Sometimes you have to call an audible. Finally, above all else in the organization, the sales leader needs to be the best at culture control and team development. This means they set clear expectations with everyone they are responsible for. They need to hold them accountable to those expectations and have an uncanny ability in choosing when to have the necessary crucial conversations while also implementing the forcing functions that will keep the team in line without constant hand-holding. This will allow the leader to build and scale a team of the right people and retain highly accountable, professional salespeople while consistently weeding out unimproved low performers. Remember, high achievers want nothing to do with low achievers. Therefore, your sales leader needs to be vigilant in growing the right team. Otherwise, you're going to lose your best people. How can your sales leader attract top talent when they themselves are a low achiever? So how do you truly know for a fact whether or not you have the right sales leader, or if it's time to invest in some executive measures? Our sales leader evaluation template will categorically unroot if there is a challenge with your sales leader and what that challenge may be. We will systematically guide you through a rubric of grading your sales leader on all the key components of success and then some. You can't afford to leave anything up to chance. To evaluate your sales leader and ensure your organization's growth, download the template now.